Welcome back, and here we are to the 2024 NCAA Outdoor Division One Men's Preview. We have a lot of talented performers, a lot of defending champions coming back. So I think this will be a pretty fun review, a good chance for us to chat and discuss. The comments are open, so your feedback is really welcomed. I'd like to converse with a lot of you in regards to your thoughts on what you think will be a pretty significant 2024 season. So our legs today, first leg, as always, sprints and hurdles. Then our distance will be the second leg, our third leg will be the jumps, and our anchor leg will be the throws this go around. And so we'll get started right away with the sprints, and we'll look right to the glamour event, the 100-meter dash. And, Terrence Jones of Texas Tech to me is the favorite going in. Did not have the meet I think he wanted to have last outdoor season, but I think this is where he'll make up for it. He has been a champion of champions this year, been the top guy, and I think will continue that. I'm curious to see what Micah Williams of Oregon will run and Godson Brume, of LSU, both who are capable of running sub 10, especially Micah Williams of Oregon, who's already ran it, along with Terrence Jones. But I think the winner may actually run a 9.8. I'm curious to see what happens. Things are happening at Texas Tech at such a great speed. They're doing a phenomenal job of developing their sprinters, and I think that'll showcase this outdoor season. And moving to the 200, I still think Terrence Jones is the favorite. He proved that to me without a shadow of a doubt. He is the top guy. I'm going to still lean towards the two Florida guys, Robert Gregory and Wanya McCoy, to be really strong competitors. I think it'll be difficult for him to win without, he won't win going away, but Gregory and McCoy will be there. And I wouldn't be shocked if Gregory won. I mean, he has a 19.8 on his record, but so does Terrence Jones. In the 400, I think we can't go without mentioning Christopher Morales Williams of Georgia. I mean, he technically is the world indoor record holder in 400. I'm very curious to see what he does outdoors because that indoor performance was his best ever. And so now that he's outdoors, is he going to give us a sub 44? And that'll be, that'll certainly put his name in the hat for a medal contention come Olympics. Then you have Emmanuel Bynum in Tennessee. I think he'll have a better outdoor season than he had indoor. He had a good indoor, but I really did think he was going to compete for a national title, and he always seemed to be in the mix, but not near the top. And then there's also Justin Robinson of Arizona State, who, of course, ran 44 seconds in high school, and we're kind of still waiting to see him take over. And didn't necessarily have the indoor season that we wanted. He didn't even make it to the finals in the indoor 400 at the championship meet. So I'm hoping for a rebound this outdoors. I really think he's a very talented sprinter with a lot left in him. He's also being coached by Armand Hall or Gino Hall, who was formerly an NCAA champion for Florida. So he has really good coaching around him. So I think he'll step it up this outdoor season. Moving to the high hurdles, the 110 hurdles, Philip Lamonius of Arkansas is the returning champion. And I think that it'll stay that way. Didn't hear a lot from him this indoor season, but I think we'll hear a lot more outdoors. Davion Wilson of Houston, I think he was very close to beating Lamonius last year. And Wilson, although didn't have the indoor season he wanted by winning a title, he was consistently competitive. And I think that'll be the case this outdoor. He has a 13-2 on his resume. You can't ignore a time like that. And Caleb Dean of Texas Tech, he's still getting his bearings. Not necessarily known for being a high hurdler. He's been more of a low hurdler. But with that speed, I think it's just only a matter of time with just good coaching before we see him at a very elite level. Then in the 400 hurdles, I do have Dean here of Texas Tech competing, but I also have the defending champion, Chris Robinson of Alabama. I think, and again, I don't want to predict an NCAA champion this early, but of all the returning champions, Chris Robinson to me seems to be in the best position. He was great indoors in the 400, along with his teammate Corday Long. Alabama's got a really strong program there when it comes to 400 and 400 hurdles. And I think we'll be continuing to hear more of those two names throughout the season, specifically Robinson. And that's the sprints. And I really good field. And I'm so looking forward to when things kick into high gear. Texas relays this weekend, Florida relays, Raleigh relays. It should be interesting. And there's even a meet at LSU, the Battle of the Bayou. They won't be going to the Texas relays, unfortunately. Really would have loved to see them there. But expect for that meet to also be interesting. And our second leg is our distance. And we're looking at, a couple guys. Picture you'll see Yusuf Bizamana of Texas. But let's not ignore the indoor champion, Rivaldo Marshall of Iowa, Jamaican, who really is a championship level performer. He shows up in big meets, and I think he'll do that. But I think now that he's had a full Division One season under his belt after being in the JUCO league for a couple years, this is where I think he'll shine outdoors. Along with Handel Robin at Penn State, Penn State has been really good at developing middle distance runners. For like the past 10, 12 years, they've just been phenomenal. And I think he's just the next guy in line. And in the 1500, I think the defending champion Nathan Green of Washington will stick to what he does. But I also have Washington sweeping this. This is a really deep group. You have Nathan Green, you have Luke Hauser, who won the mile indoors, and then you have Joe Waxham of Washington. And those are all phenomenal, capable milers. I have Nathan Green as the top guy, but I'm not predicting a champion now. But I do think this will be a sweep. I really don't see. I mean, you have a lot of great competitors in the mile, but three championship level performers on one team competing against each other regularly, it's going to bring the best out of them, and it has been. So I don't think that'll change. Really do think it'll be a sweep. In the steeplechase, we have a transfer, Victor Cabejo, who was of UTEP, now at Texas A&M, and then the other top returnee, Nathan Mountain of Virginia. I think this event is actually wide open. I'm curious to see. Those are the two big names I think we should focus on. But as far as predicting a champion, there's no way I think we can do that. In fact, I don't even think we'll have a clear idea of who's number one till it's closer to conference championship time or even regionals. And then we look at the 5K and Nico Young of Northern Arizona, Kai Robinson of Stanford, Parker Wolf of North Carolina, the usual suspects. I'm curious to see if Kai Robinson decides to solely focus on the 10K instead of the 5K. But I think this is where Nico Young has his best shot at winning an outdoor title. And in the 10,000, I actually have Kai Robinson. And I have him against Graham Blanks of Harvard. I think those are the two best 10K runners. Graham Blanks is the cross country champion. We didn't see him this indoor season. That's okay. He did run early in the indoor season, run the a top time in the 5K, but no championship for him. And Harvard has really got a strong program in an array of events. I think this is also where they have another champion. But we're not predicting champions. I think he'll be in the mix. The third leg, we're moving to the jumps, and this is really interesting because I think this is where Arkansas will shine. I have them with the top guy in the high jump and the long jump. In the high jump, obviously, it's Romaine Beckford. I think the only other real challenger that he'll face is Trey Allen of Louisville. I'm going to keep saying his name because the past two times he just hasn't really shown up, but I think he'll do better outdoors. I'm hoping. In the pole vault, I think the defending champion Keaton Daniel of Kentucky is clearly the top returning guy. And I'm curious to see what Hunter Garrettson of Akron does. As I mentioned him in the last video when I did a recap of the weekend, I think that he got his outdoor season started pretty strongly. I'm hoping he's able to finish the season at a high note. Again, long jump, Wayne Pennick of Arkansas, the defending champion, the indoor champion, just a really talented jumper that just continues to show up at big meets. You can't ignore Jeremiah Davis of Florida State or Malcolm Clemens of Florida. And pretty soon, those three schools may actually all end up in the SEC because, man, is the SEC getting more competitive. And then we move to the triple jump, and I've been championing his name, Russell Robinson. I was really happy to see him win the indoor title of Miami, and I think he's going to be the top guy coming in this outdoor season. He had the best mark, and Jeremiah Davis of Florida State will be there. Luke Brown of Kentucky will be there. Sean Bodie Dixon of Florida, he'll be there, but I really do think Russell Robinson is the top guy going in. And now moving to the anchor leg, the throwing events. Man, we got some throws. We got some big, heavy, strong men that I think are going to really give us some good marks. Obviously, Tariq Robinson O'Hagan of Ole Miss. I mentioned him almost every single video, and I don't think that's going to stop. Man, he's having a great season, and ironically, Olympic year. I'm curious to see what he does. He's already at the top of the nation. I think he's going to remain there pretty much for the majority of the season. I do think this is a really strong shot put group, but I think he's just the class of the field. Dylan Taggart of South Carolina, a fellow SEC competitor, I think is going to be his strongest competition. In the discus, I have one name because I just think it's him and the rest of the field, and that's Nicholas Alekna of Cal. Didn't compete this indoor season, that's fine. He's only going to focus on the discus, but man, as you see in that picture, a great shot of him. This is a really talented young man. He burst into the scene last year as a freshman, and for a minute, I thought he was going to win the national title. But I think he's going to be in great position to do that this year. In the hammer, our weight throw indoor champion, the defending champion in the hammer, Kenneth Ikiji of Harvard. You guessed it again. They've got some really good talent there, and they've been using it very well. And he's in great position. I think that he's a consistent performer at a high level. Gone from a great outdoor champion in 2023 to a great indoor champion 2024, and it should just continue. I think he's going to find challenge from Kostas Zaltas of Minnesota. And Trey Knight, we mentioned him on the video earlier of Cal State Northridge. In the javelin, another defending champion, Zuriel Padugo of LSU. He burst onto the scene as a freshman a few years ago, and he stayed at the top. He's been consistently a high performer, and I don't think that's going to change. I think Mark Minicello of Georgia is going to seriously give him a run for his money, but Padugo is in great position, I think, to defend his title. And another champion will close out the preseason preview. We have decathlete Leo Nussbauer of Texas. He broke the collegiate record last year. He did it against Kyle Garland, who also broke the collegiate record. He is literally a legend in this field. He owns the school record and the German national record. The German national record. So if there's anyone that I predict to win a national title, even though I don't want to do that, I think he's probably the best odds-on favorite to win it. He's going to find good competition from Till Steinforth of Nebraska and Austin West of Iowa. And Austin West didn't necessarily have the performance I thought he was going to have indoors. I actually never mentioned his name in any of the videos, but he did earn All-American honors. He kind of was in the background. You had Till Steinforth and Wement of Illinois, but I think Austin West, who finished third here last year, will be in the competition this year also. So here's to a great outdoor season. A lot of really good names you heard, a lot of great talent. Don't expect for this to be a lackluster season. I'm quite positive within the next 2 or 3 weeks we're going to see a national record fall. Just be prepared for it. And here's to a great 2024. Please like, subscribe, comment. Again, the comments are open. Your feedback is welcomed, whether positive or negative. Please share. I want this community to grow. I want this to be a space for all of us to converse. And I'm curious to see what you think about my opinions on some names. I'm pretty sure some of you feel you may miss someone here. Please share that and we can have a great discussion on that because you may be right. I may have missed it. Again, like and subscribe. Thank you all for your continued support. And I look forward to chatting with you live on Thursday. Thank you.